On December 22, 2008, religious leaders in Ethiopia urged lawmakers to amend the country's constitution to ban homosexuality in a move they argue could further strengthen existing codes. At a meeting in the Ethiopian capital, nearly a dozen religious figures adopted a resolution against homosexuality, which they termed as the pinnacle of immorality. According to AFP, they also blamed homosexuality for the rise in sexual attacks on children and young men. This is something very strange in Ethiopia, the land of the Bible, that condemns this very strongly, said Abuna Paulos, the patriarch of Ethiopia's Orthodox Church. For people to act in this manner, they have to be dumb, stupid like animals, he told reporters. We strongly condemn this behavior. They, the homosexuals, have to be disciplined and their acts discriminated, that they have to be given a lesson. But while homosexuality is illegal under the country's penal code, it is not mentioned in the constitution. We urge parliamentarians to endorse a ban on homosexual activity in the constitution, the resolution read. It also urged the government to establish more rehabilitation centers and to place strict controls on the distribution of pornographic materials. The head of local NGO United for Life Ethiopia said homosexuality was not a human rights issue, AFP reported. Here, we don't believe that it is, and we don't believe that it is related to creation. It has no biological base, Dr. Siyum Antonius said. It is unacceptable. It is immoral. Every religious leader said in one voice that it is the pinnacle of immorality, he added. One very important event in that historic meeting was the speech delivered by Pastor Green, a Swedish pastor who was sentenced for 1 month imprisonment for his strong stand against homosexuality in his home country. He warned and at the same time advised the Ethiopian religious leaders of the dangers lying ahead if they are not well prepared to fight this social evil at this opportune moment. In the wake of this widely reported conference, a website known as Gay Rights came up with an interesting article entitled "Ethiopia Takes 2 Steps Backwards." It's our firm conviction that Ethiopia will again take countless steps backwards against the legalization of homosexuality. In addition, behind the mask, a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex LGBTI rights group published an article which retorted to the resolution. In the article, it expounded the challenges faced by homosexuals in Ethiopia, adding that the gay community was nevertheless undergoing organizational and structural change to fight for their rights. It is saddening to see that some nations whose previous records of admirable strength in moral and ethical issues were very inspirational to us, have already plunged themselves in the unfathomable sea of decadence. Hence, it is crystal clear that one can hardly expect these nations to provide exemplary models for others to follow. Their leaders salute the abominable life of homosexuality and show gestures of recognition. A case in point is the inclusion of 2 ardent advocates of gay rights in the list of 16 awardees of Medal of Freedom by U.S. President Barack Obama in the August of 2009. These were Billie Jean King and Harvey Milk, individuals famous for their contribution in the gay rights movement. This news, which was received among millions with shock and dismay, has vividly demonstrated to the whole world the extent to which the Western world has been immersed in moral decadence.
He was silenced by the act of another.
The ordination of Gene Robinson as the first openly gay bishop of the Episcopal Church in America in 2003, and that of Mary Douglas Glasspool in December 2009, are other very painful and shameful examples, among others, of the engulfment of the Church by the secular way of thinking. The measure of a nation's superiority lies neither in the piles of dollars in its coffers nor in its wealth. It rather lies in the place it gives to decent moral values. The Bible says in Proverbs, "Righteousness upholds a nation, but sin is a reproach to any nation." Any nation which bases its values on righteousness is surely a great nation. We Africans are facing very serious challenge in this 21st century. In the midst of our struggles against poverty to attain our aspirations of total financial and economic freedom, the Western world is pushing the gay agenda deep into our continent through various means. For instance, the Swedish International Development Agency SIDA, in its program for the years 2007 and 2009, as released on its website, has clearly committed itself towards achieving this goal. On the other hand, another Swedish organization, RFSU, is currently giving scholarships to young men and women from developing countries, especially from Africa, to train them on homo-friendly way of life so that they may come back and teach their respective communities. We have definite evidence from 2 Ethiopian youth who have taken the course. It has been heartbreaking news to learn that South Africa, who many see as a rainbow nation, meaning a nation of hope, has succumbed to this pressure and legalized homosexuality with constitutional amendments, making it the first such nation in the whole world. This happened while we were still grieving on the country's extremely loose law on abortion. Ethiopia, and now recently Uganda, have taken great steps against such global move. We in United for Life Ethiopia cry out for the rest of Africa to follow suit and show to the whole world that Africa is not following the same path which led many nations into that quagmire, that vicious circle of moral decadence. It's time for Africa to rise up and show leadership in such moral matters which, without any doubt, determine the destiny of any nation and in fact the whole world. God bless Ethiopia. God bless Africa.